As you, blessed hearts, ascend through the firmament, you encounter all of those ascended and cosmic beings that serve mankind. For they stand ready to assist you on your journey, to open the door to new vistas, to illumine you as to the experience that you behold. Without their assistance, perhaps you might not recognize what was really going on. And thus, you understand how even now we come to address you, to remind you, to teach you, to transfer the body consciousness of our own momentum so that you might have a greater portion of that substance of the body of God with which to keep you on your journey through all your days. I stand before you as the Elohim, Apollo, conveying the fullness of the light of God as illumination, so that you might embrace more of illumination's flame that burns within your own God presence. For acknowledging that illumination allows you to begin to gain the wisdom required to fulfill all that your presence desires here and now. Perhaps you have thought you would wait and study until your golden years, when you had nothing better to do, and then you would learn all that your presence desired to teach you, and that would prepare you for the final ascent that you required. Blessed hearts, how foolish is that? The entirety of your lifetime is an ascension, one increment at a time. And if you are to put off to another day, how can you be sure that you will have enough time, enough momentum, or even worse yet, the opportunity to fulfill all that you must achieve? So you come back for another incarnation, and another after that, and another after that, and you can begin to see how foolish are the ignorant who do not take the precious moments and hold fast to them when they receive the increment of the fire from their own God presence transferred into their consciousness, to prepare them, ignite them, and establish enough of the momentum of God that they will be able to master the quality and the virtues of God required. Throughout the ages, you have ignored what was right before you. The mighty I Am Presence, always patient. The ascended and cosmic beings, likewise patient, giving you the breadth and height, the time and space to complete the journey. Never once telling you that you would run out of time. But blessed hearts, can you be so sure that the next incarnation will afford you the opportunities that you have here and now? For after all, the veils of forgetfulness are drawn over your consciousness when you come into another incarnation. And you are required to reawaken the flame upon the altar of your heart and ignite all of those momentums that you have previously known. Can you be sure that you will remember? Or will you be required to eke out every jot and tittle of initiation and cycle to take you back to the place where you are at present in another lifetime? Perhaps you have not realized how much you have already garnered in this lifetime, no matter your age. The blessings that have been bestowed upon you, that have made you goal-fitted for the journey, are much. And thus, we come once more to remind you, do not put off to another day what you should be attending to in this very hour. Can you be sure that you know how many days, how many breaths of life are yet to be experienced in this incarnation? Certainly it is no tragedy to pass from the screen of this life, going into your inner life and preparing to come again. But understand, blessed hearts, many of you are not required to come into incarnation again if you will use wisely all that is given to you as opportunity from here to your last breath on terra firma. Think of it. No more coming into an infant body, having to learn how to communicate, to walk, then going through adolescence, the youthful years, struggling to remember, trying to determine whether or not this or that profession is right for you to study, having to labor over the concerns of family, friends, and loved ones, all the while putting in the back of your consciousness that burning desire to commune with God. It takes illumination to understand what is most pressing as the highest priority of any moment. O blessed hearts, such is the way of the incarnate life stream. It is hoped by now you, as the students of the Ascended Masters, will have garnered enough of the presence of mind of God to understand how to go before your altar, calling forth the light of God, issuing the Christ command, and taking dominion over your life, transmuting your karma so that you are no longer whipped around by that returning death to life, and establishing the God momentums that are a part of your true identity at every turn. Or are you a part of the ones that let that be the second in the scheme of things of your life, where you see to everything else except your spiritual life, where God comes second, third, or even fourth, worst of all. That would sound rather dreary if you did not understand that you have within you the flame of God burning upon the altar of your heart. You have a mighty I Am presence that is ready to vest you with the power of God if you are willing to discipline these vehicles of consciousness that you wear and exhibit the will of God. You have sufficient love of God with which to love all who are upon the earth, for that is the allness of God love that is avail to you, if you will but exercise it. But even in the exercising of giving the unconditional love of God, that too requires discipline. And therefore, blessed hearts, you must hone, fashion, and establish Illumination's flame, burning brightly where you are, so that when you are ready to avail yourself of the disciplines required to hold the magnitude of light that your presence desires to flood through you as the body consciousness of the I Am presence, you will be prepared to hold it. You will not be drowning in a wave of light, unable to stand in the strength and courage that is required. For you will have stepped up the vibration of each of your vehicles of consciousness so that they are attuned to the vibration of the Most High. And in those moments when what you might do would make a great difference in the lives of others, you will be prepared and you will be ready to act. Oh, blessed hearts, there is so much to a given incarnation that a life stream can avail themselves of. How puny are the schoolrooms of earth in what they teach the youth. How stripped of the substance of the pure life of God, of the currents of the fire that streams forth from the mighty I Am presence. How unillumined all of the details and minutiae that belabor those trying to memorize facts and figures, when all the while they miss the context of what is at the root and the core, holding together that which they have studied as the great pranic breaths of the elemental forces of nature moving in the earth. Even the study of the human anatomy is pale in comparison when there is the absence of knowing and having the understanding of Illumination's flame that exists when you know of the planes of consciousness and how each of these planes work in conjunction with one another but are separate. There are so many things that our students and youth could be learning, but because the human ego and human pride have taken over the schoolrooms of the earth. There is no longer room for God, and thus God has been relegated to the street corner. You, blessed hearts, can make a difference. You can establish enough of the flow of light from your God presence to be anchored in the earth and clear away the debris so that there can be higher learning, a higher vibration in God, reigniting the true memory, the true God identity, and establishing those areas of study where there can be the little ones taught from even birth the right vibration, the right rhythms, the right instruction, so that as they come into their own, they are awakened in the Christ consciousness, and they no longer have a yen or a yearning for those things that are the appetites of the flesh or the human existence, and their refined palate is hungry for God. And so they search out God in beauty, God in music, God in nature, God in all of life. Their relationships are filled with God at the pinnacle as the first priority of love. Their professions carry that honor and the respect of the Christ in all their affairs, no matter how those professions are carried out. And there is honor that is conveyed at every turn for every life stream, even when there are those not fulfilling the divine aspect of their Christhood. There is the respect of the Christ within them. All the while, you allow them to go through whatever it is they must in order to awaken into a new awareness of life that is better for them and for all. What a glorious world it would be if suddenly you could turn on the mass communications and see enlightened individuals speaking the truth, exercising discrimination of the Christ, and exhibiting honor and respect for all. That almost seems as though it is some neverland. But I promise you, those are the fabrics and the vibrations of a golden age. And that is what you are working toward. And though it may not be completely realized in your lifetime, given your age and your divine plan, nonetheless, it is already accomplished. It is already known from the beginning that it will occur. Why else, throughout all of the ages, is the golden age upon the lips of so many? It is because they have seen in that memory of the established blueprint for the earth what was to come. I, Apollo, have foretold for eons of time that the golden age was nigh. And each generation that comes forth fills out a portion of that plan and that momentum. In this era, you blessed hearts are closer than ever before in understanding how to anchor the divine blueprint of a golden age. You have been given more than any other students of the light. You have been taught all that is required for you. What remains? Your acceptance. You must accept it. It is not enough to know it in the intellect. It is not enough to even feel it emotionally. You must have the internalization of the flame of your own mighty I Am presence, burning so brightly that you are undaunted at any turn. And you know that your mission in life is to be God victorious. And that victory is undeniable, for you have the pressure of the power of God already beginning to move through you. You have sufficient love for God to carry you through all manner of trial and initiations, and you have Illumination's flame burning brightly so that you can, by the grace of your own Christ consciousness, learn the wisdoms that are required of you, so that you are no longer just an incarnate life stream, sloughing through life, trying your way as best as possible. But oh well, if you do not accomplish, then there will always be another day. No, blessed hearts, that is not the attitude that you will take, for you know better. Everything that you do, everything that you attempt, it is always with every erg of energy of your being, and you galvanize the white fire core of your being to draw forth all of the flames of God required to carry it out. How glorious it is to see an initiate on the path that is overcoming, that is being God victorious, that you know without shadow of doubt that they will make their ascension at the close of this lifetime, for they are already on their way. When I look at the record of the few in comparison to the masses of the earth that are a consideration for the ascension at the close of this lifetime, I am most joyous, for I know it has been a long, long journey for many. Some are ready to carry their journey on in the higher octaves of light, so that they can put to God use all that they have learned through their many incarnations. Perhaps as you sit here this very night, you think, surely you have not learned enough. Surely you have this problem and that. Surely there are those things going on in your life that are seemingly failed. But I tell you, blessed ones, you cannot really remember your previous lifetimes and the victories you've won. If you give up now, what does that say for all of the victories of your many incarnations, all of the attainment that you have already won? You cannot for one moment look at any other life stream and think that they surely have a long way to go. How poor it is that they will have to come back another lifetime. You know not, for you cannot read the causal body record and the great momentums of any life stream. By the grace of God, there are those times when a life stream is given a glimpse of a previous incarnation, merely so they will not forget their victories, and they will draw upon those victories so that they will not think that they are bereft of the attainment and the ability to overcome in this lifetime, for it is necessary to fulfill more of that momentum and attainment. So, blessed hearts, mark well what is to come for you as the victory in the light. Do not give up. Do not say that tomorrow might be a better day, or the day after that, or the day after that. But each day you strive with every erg of energy, and I promise you that energy will be replaced on the instant by your mighty I Am presence, and you will not tire of the momentum that your presence desires you to keep. If the body is tired and needs to rest, let it sleep. But make sure that you nourish it properly with the light of God and those foods which will bring about the leavening of the consciousness and vibration sufficient to carry you through the day. You must have the right nourishment within each of your vehicles of consciousness, and that nourishment begins with the mighty I Am presence. It begins in the light of God. And the more that you remember who you are, from whence you have come, you will know where you must go, what you must do, how you must act, and it will be very good. I, Apollo, commend you to the fire of resurrection's flame, so that as you are elevated in consciousness, you will burn brightly in illumination, and have the wisdom required to know and have the Christ discrimination in all things of your life. And as you begin to rest in the awareness of the allness of God and the vastness of the eternity that is before you, you will see, blessed ones, how great it is to be in the mighty I Am presence. That one God, that is the allness of God, is there. You commune with all other I Am presence. You see worlds without end, what is before you, and you have the awareness of your individuality taking shape, form, and momentum, where the desire of your God presence anchors that fire. How glorious it is! Let this be the day when you galvanize and muse upon every moment in eternity of your life that will keep you all the days of the remaining of this incarnation, and you will carry with you as attainment and mastery into the journey of the Godhead charioteer. peace in the stillness of the one God, love and the power of God that streams forth in the fullness of that love and the exercising of the will of God, and illumination as you are charting your course divinely according to the divine memory of your mighty I Am presence. I, Apollo, commend you to the journey, and I will not hear any longer the grumbling of this one and that things are going wrong in your life, that you are tired, that you are hungry, that you are bereft of anything. For that means that you are not calling upon your mighty I Am presence and making straightway the path so that you can receive from the mighty I Am presence all that is required. The momentum is here. The consciousness of God is here. What remains? Are you here? Go with the fullness of the light of your God presence and be in that presence of God here and now.